Hey guys, so as you can tell, I'm in a little bit better um mood than I was previously. I spent the weekend with a really good friend of mine for her birthday, so that was a lot of fun for me and Rowan. Since we're still waiting to see what's happening with Doug. Um, but so I wanted to come on and see if I could try to get maybe one or two videos going here with a couple little experiences. Um, so with Doug, my last big video was leaving off with him going to a place called Vibra Hospital in Thornton, Colorado. So we'll kind of go into that right now, I guess. But so when he went there, he was there for quite a while actually. So it was kind of crazy because his body wasn't ready to start physical therapy right away, and the type of stroke that he had impairs his ability to move. It's just the way it is. And it's like they didn't understand that or comprehend that. So the first week he was there, he was still on the ventilator. So they weaned him off, got him breathing on his own with his original trach tube. And so everything was starting to go good, and then they tried physical therapy. And obviously, when your body hurts and when you can't do it, you don't want to do it. And so that's what happened is he just didn't want to do physical therapy. It hurt. And he just didn't want to do what he had to do. And so they kind of gave up on him at that point. All the doctors, all the physical therapists, everybody just kind of gave up on him. So he just kind of basically got range of motion therapy, which is fine. As long as the body's moving, it's not going to consider that body part dead. But I don't know. It's just a weird thing to talk about because I don't really know. And anyway, so he was there. He tried therapy with the main therapist. He tried therapy with the director of physical therapy. He was starting to get somewhere with that therapist. But all the case management people were basically forcing me to send him to a nursing home. And basically, it just was not the ideal conditions there or at the nursing home. And so it got a little frustrating, and it's very, very frustrating. Because he doesn't want to admit he needs more help. Like, in his brain, he thinks he's way better than he actually is, and he's really not. So, yeah, it's very frustrating for me as his wife to deal with all of this because he doesn't want to listen to anything I have to say. So, and at Vibra, he was sexually assaulted by a male nurse, but he didn't tell me this until way after he was there, which made me mad because if I would have known, I would have dealt with the problem right then and there, and that's just something you don't do to a patient. I don't know. It was just really awkward. Him being there for as long as he was, and then to make things weirder, there you had dinky TVs. Like, in most hospital rooms or in most rooms, when you go to medical facilities, they have a nice big TV, or at least a 32-inch regular TV. No, they had these tiny little screens. They reminded me of the monitor screens when they're monitoring vitals. Like, they're tiny, like the old school ones. It's just really weird, and it bothered me because I was like, I don't know how anybody can see anything on these little dinky ass TVs, but whatever. But yeah, I mean, things were okay there. He got stable enough, like I said, and I tried to explain to him that he needed to go somewhere, and he just fought me every step of the way, and he's still fighting me. But yeah, Vibra is not a place I would ever recommend a person go to if they've had a stroke. Maybe their other trauma areas are different, but their stroke unit, unless you have like the stroke in the main part of the brain, don't go there. Don't send him there. I had no choice when he went there. They sent him without talking to me about it because basically they wanted to get him out of the ICU ASAP. So it kind of sucked that we had no say in that matter. So it's like, oh. And then, so I went and toured this nursing home he went to in Longmont. Thought it was a fantastic place when I went and toured it. Well, when he got there, things were not the way they told me. A. B. It was like rude staff. And I brought it up so many times to the head nurse of the wing Doug was on about how they treated Doug, how they treated me. No resolution. No resolution. And then Doug's roommate that he had to have kept annoying me and asking me over and over and over and over and over to do things until I got so frustrated. I said, that's what the nurses are getting paid to do. You need to call a nurse and have them come in here and take care of you. It was so frustrating. And like, everything Doug asked for was an inconvenience to them. They'd lie to him about medications. That's one thing you don't do. You don't lie to a patient about their medications. And when I talked to the head nurse, oh yeah, he didn't get those. Well, then why did they say that he got them? I don't know. Well, you need to fix this. I mean, I understand nursing homes are short-staffed and whatnot, but to be so disregardant of a patient's well-being is ridiculous. And nothing ever got done about anything I made a complaint about. Like, I don't get it. Like, this place hired on people through probably a temp agency who shouldn't have been in a nursing home in the first place because they have no compassion for these people who cannot take care of themselves. And you try to be an advocate and you try to stand up for your loved one that's in the nursing home. But no, when you try to do that, you're in the wrong and they're in the right, and it doesn't matter how much you complain, they don't change. And it's so frustrating to deal with that. I mean, like, honestly, you guys all gotta understand. Like, Doug and I have been married almost 10 years. This is ridiculous. To have something like this happen after our son turns 1. And now we're stuck with this the rest of our lives. Like, apparently God thinks we're pretty dang strong. Because he's been putting me through some heavy battles lately. But, those are 2 facilities I will never ever send anybody to ever again. I feel so awful that Doug had to experience these things, and be blatantly disrespected, disregarded, like they didn't give a crap about him. That like bothers me more than anything in the world. Is when I know my husband deserves better care than he got. Like, that's ridiculous. So after that, we brought him back home, and he was home for 3 weeks. Meanwhile, he had removed the trach tube while he was in the facility, the nursing home, and they said all's good. And so everything was fine. Well, come to find out it wasn't. He aspirated the day before Halloween and went to the hospital last year. And they lost him once here, and then the next day they lost him at the hospital too. So it was a very scary couple days. I'm going to go ahead and stop this video and start recording on another one and upload both of these. So I'll see you in a little bit.